discussion involves increasing and decreasing functions. We are asked to find the intervals on the x-axis where the function is going up or where the function is going down. We always read a graph from left to right. We always read the x-axis from left to right also. So when we follow the graph, take your pencil and follow the graph. We start on the left side, and the graph is decreasing until we get here at the bottom, which is where x is equal to 0. And then continuing following the graph we see is going up or increasing. So on the left of 0, the graph is going down or decreasing. On the right, the graph is increasing. So how do we write this? We first saw a number line, and we said on the graph, x equals 0 was the place to change direction. So on the left of 0, the graph decreased, and on the right of 0, the graph increased. Again, we lay the graph flat on the x-axis and look for where on the x-axis the graph is increasing or decreasing. So following the graph again, it's going down till we get to x equals 0, and it's going up after that. So how do we write that? Well, we read the x-axis left to right. It's decreasing from negative infinity to 0. The arrows represent infinity. And then it's increasing 0 to the arrow, which is positive infinity. So it's increasing 0 to infinity. It's going down or decreasing from negative infinity to 0. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, or where y is equal to 0. As you can see, this graph has no x-intercepts. It doesn't cross the x-axis just by looking at the graph. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, or where x is 0. We see that that is y equals 1, so our point or y-intercept is 0, 1. Let's look at another example. Again, follow the graph. Start in the left corner. The graph is going up until it reaches this point, so it's increasing until we get to 0. Then the graph, if you follow it, is going down. So on a number line, that looks like it's increasing on the left of 0. It's decreasing on the right of 0. Again, lay the graph flat on the x-axis, and this is what's happening. So it's increasing on the left of 0, or arrow, which is negative infinity to 0. It's decreasing from 0 to arrow, or 0 to infinity. Again, we read the x-axis from left to right also. Where does it cross the x-axis? It does not cross, so there's no x-intercepts. And this point here on the graph is 0, negative 1, so that is our y-intercept. In this example, we follow the graph. It starts at negative 5, 0, and the graph is increasing till it reaches this point here, and then the graph falls or decreases until we get to 5 on the x-axis. So in this case, our x-axis looks like this, from negative 5, 5, and 0 is where it changes directions. So between negative 5 and 0, the graph is increasing, and then from 0 to 5, the graph's going down, it decreases. So it's increasing from negative 5 to 0, where it changes direction. Again, these are intervals on the x-axis, and it's decreasing 0 to 5. These are not points. This is an interval on the x-axis. Those are both x values. So the x-intercept, we see that it crosses at negative 5, 0. It doesn't cross, it goes through, and 5, 0, that point is right on the x-axis, let's say. And the y-intercept is at 0, 5. This is where it crosses the y-axis. Another example. Starting on the left and following the graph's going up till it gets to negative 3, then it jumps to 3, and it continues increasing. So this graph is always increasing. But notice there's a break between negative 3 and 3, so we account for that. So on the left of negative 3, the graph is going up. It skips over, then 3 to infinity, the graph is still increasing. So to write this, we start left at negative infinity, get this interval here to negative 3. We jump over to 3, and then we go to the arrow with infinity. Again, that's the interval on the x-axis. It's never decreasing. The x-intercept are negative 3 and 3, points on the x-axis, and the y-intercept, there is no y-intercept. It does not cross the y-axis. Okay, one more example. This graph, we start at the left and follow it, is decreasing till we get to the x value of -4. So again, let's do our number line. So on the left of -4, it decreases. Continuing on, is going up till it reaches this high point at 1. Then it goes back down after 1 to 6. Again, we just look at the x values. So it's decreasing between 1 and 6. It's going down. After 6, it goes through 8, and it continues to increase. So it's increasing to infinity. So the intervals of increase are -4 to 1. Between -4 and 1, this graph is going up. Also, it's going up after 6 to infinity, intervals on the x-axis. It's decreasing from the arrow -infinity to -4. Graph is going down, and the graph is going down between 1 and 6. So if you look on this graph between 1 and 6, the x values, the graph is decreasing. These are intervals. The intercepts are points. Where does it cross the x-axis? At -0 here, and at 8, 0. And the y-intercept, where it crosses, it looks like it's a little lower than the highest point. So we'll say that's 0, -1.5. So just to recap, when we're looking for where the graph is going down or decreasing or up, increasing, we lay the graph flat on the x-axis and answer in terms of intervals on the x-axis. To find the x and y intercepts, those are points. So there's a difference between intervals and points.